And welcome back to another episode of the CFT Fitcast. I am your favorite host, Chris Williams, with this guy to my right who's not from around here, and this guy from the left who is definitely from around here. If you notice his hat, it's a very Bay Area-like to wear a Marvel hat with all the characters on top.
Basic white girl.
Yep.
So basic.
It is so cold.
Probably got matching socks, too.
Captain
Yeah,
America,
and he probably
actually.
spells basic B-A-E.
Captain America on my feet.
Well, before we digress too far, we are steadily approaching Christmas. And what comes right after that? We got New Year's. And what comes with New Year's? Resolutions. What's a resolution, Matt? What kind of resolutions are you talking about this year?
For myself?
Well, yeah.
Well, a resolution for myself, I actually want to do either an Olympic lifting competition or jump on some sort of platform, whether it's
There's a lot of kind of platforms out there, Matt.
Powerlifting or Olympic lifting.
Oh, that narrows it down. Vinny, what kind of resolution are you? What are you resolute about?
Well, I definitely second the powerlifting competition. Me and Coach Matt, we've talked about that over the last couple of weeks. And I think definitely moving forward for me, just, become a better coach, be just a better human being, move more. I mean, the goal of this is, I don't really call it a resolution. It's kind of just setting goals and being active all year round. So I think that's what we feed into is a resolution right for me? What does it really mean to have a New Year's resolution? What's your New Year's resolution, big guy?
I got a lot of them, man. I got a lot of them. You guys both gave me some pretty broad answers to what a resolution is, what your resolutions are.
Basic.
Let's kind of break down what a solid goal would be. Obviously, we want to follow the S.M.A.R.T campaign. Mm-hmm. So basically, we want it measurable. We want it to be realistic.
Specific.
So those are the main things you want, and attainable. So those are the main things you want to really think about when you're making a goal. So a weightlifting competition is awesome, but if we were going to fine tune that into a SMART goal, Matt would probably want a total, right? A clean and jerk and snatch total that he wanted to hit. So there's your measurable goal. You would probably want something like a time frame. So whether it's spring, summer, or if you wanted to narrow it down to June, I found the competition I want to do, or there's one that always happens in this time of year. I'm just going to wait for it to come up, and that's the one I'm going to do. Having those specifics, not just saying, in my case, I want to lose a pound a week for the entire year, which is 52 pounds. That's awesome. So it's measurable, but I need to have more than that. So obviously I need to say it's a pound a week, but what happens if I don't lose a pound? Did I screw my goal up? No. As long as I lose 52 pounds in a year, in 12 months, from January 1st to January 1st, 2018 to 2019, I hit my goal. Well, that's pretty smart, right? I mean, that's a pretty smart goal, but that doesn't really give us the measurables I need to know if I'm making the progress that I want. So I would probably add on a body fat percentage goal too, right? So something that I can relate to on a monthly basis. That's a pretty long-term goal. So, let's break that down into a monthly goal. Monthly goal, I don't know, was that 4.5 pounds a week or 4.5 pounds a month? So say 5 pounds a month. So we'll say 60 pounds in a year. And I want to lose 1% body fat a month. You'd probably have to check your history in terms of how you burn body fat based on if you have ever done body fat tests. For me, that's pretty realistic. For others, that might not be, depending on how well you burn fat, how well your body is aligned. But this kind of gives you an idea of how in-depth you really need to be if you're going to create a really, logical, achievable goal. And last but not least, you got to have the discipline. We talk about discipline all the time on this show because currently I've not been very disciplined. I didn't fast as well as I had hoped during the holidays, during Thanksgiving. Plumped up a little bit, but again, that's kind of the thing where if you have that long-standing goal, where I didn't really have that measurable goal going into the holidays, my goal was just more to try to maintain and not completely blow up. that's not really a goal I could follow because I didn't wake up in the morning going, what can I do today to help achieve that goal other than not eat? Right? So it's not something I can do. So for somebody going into, the new year, hyped up on fitness, what are goals that you guys would recommend? What are things that you might recommend to our current members, to people wanting to try us out for the first time? And, let's talk about goal setting in general, because that's something we do offer here. So let's just kind of go through that a little bit.
So basically speaking about goals and how to set a goal, like Chris was saying, is you have to think of, a long-term goal. But when it comes to long-term goals, people, including myself, seem to lack the discipline to be able to stick to a long-term goal because it seems so far away and it's out of reach. So the best way or a strategic way would be to set a goal is to set small goals, small wins, things that you can achieve in a month or achieve in a week, whatever it might be, whether it's I'm going to set my calorie intake to this and I'm going to hit it every day for a week. That's a small win. And that can keep you motivated because you keep hitting the finish line 1 week at a time. And before you know it, a year's already gone by. And then by then you should be hitting your long-term goals. So don't think so much about long-term goals. I would be setting short-term goals, tangible goals, things that count as small wins.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about patience, right? So, Vinny, you've been trying to grow to 6 feet for like 30-something years now. So,
Yep.
you know all about those patience goals. So tell us more about patience goals.
I was hoping, when I turned 30, I'd have a growth spurt. But
We've always talked about it.
I hear
It
some
didn't
people
happen,
do.
man. It
Didn't
didn't happen. I
Didn't
feel really
happen.
bad
people
for
have
you.
them.
The scale changes, the height doesn't. And I think that's where we just keep talking about that long term, that short term, and what do these goals really mean to you? Why do I want them? When do I want them? The what's, all of those W's that you have to ask yourself. And, I think a lot of people, their goal that they set for themselves is I'm going to go to the gym for my New Year's resolution. I'm going to join a gym. And then you're in that gym, and most of those people are falling off after about a week to 2 weeks, and then that was your experience at the gym. So I think people are just having the bad experience right from the beginning. And for someone like me who wants to get taller, I could hang from the pull-up bar. That's a goal. I'm gonna hang more from the pull-up bar in my week.
Studies show that good posture can increase your height by an inch.
Exactly. And that could be a goal too. Like I'm going to focus on walking with my shoulders back, that awkward human walk that we're supposed to do. That would be something I could, put down on paper and measure and record. And it sounds funny and odd, but stuff like that would keep me focused. Like, yeah, I'm more aware of my shoulders being back.
Have you seen those figure 8 straps they're coming out with? I had one of those and I broke my collarbone. And now all of a sudden it's like cool to wear to fix posture.
Yep. Donnie Thompson makes the bow tie.
That's one of them,
which is really popular for the bigger guys, the power lifters, the offensive linemen, and posture is key for, being a healthy human being. Those are some of the bigger things, when it comes to, some goals that you want, Matt, for your upcoming year, how are you going to measure things like that and keep yourself consistent?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is set a baseline, because if I don't know where I start, then I don't know how far I've come. And for me, I always like to look back, whether it's looking at the Tribe app that we use here at the gym, looking back on 1 mile runs or 1 rep maxes. But I always like to have a baseline so I know how far I've come or maybe how not so far I've come. Maybe I'm slacking, and it's a way that I can find motivation and be like, okay, pick your shit up, keep moving, you need to work harder, get back into it, find the grind or get the grind. You were talking about people falling off in the gym, and I think that's because when they start, they have all this motivation to start because everyone around them is motivated to start, but then it seems like they just don't have a legitimate starting place. They just kind of jump and dive into it without starting with some sort of measurable. Man, look at that handsome guy right there. Look at those muscle ups.
Can you please turn that off?
Dang.
Facebook just took a dive on us.
That's funny.
Horrifying.
But that was a video of me.
Matt and muscle ups.
He's been looking at me on Facebook. That's cool though. I was his #1 most recent post. from yesterday.
It's actually under his saved videos.
But yeah, like you said, Vinny, that people just jump into the gym and they kind of just do their own thing. They do what someone else next to them's doing, and they copy and paste their own little workouts without any reason or rhyme, and then they just start to fall off, or they lose the motivation or lose track of focus. And I think if people started with small goals or started with some sort of plan or even worked with a trainer, whether it's at our gym or someone else's gym, to help them find their starting place and keep them on track monthly or weekly so that they can continue to see progress. And they're like, okay, this is working. Like, imagine what I can do if I kept up with this for 6 months, 8 months, and 12 months is the whole goal for a whole year, 365 days.
Yeah, I mean, and let's get to the real bottom issue when defining goals and why people fall off. I think it's a lack of realistic expectations. I think they come in, guy my size comes in thinking I'm going to drop 50 pounds in 2 months because that's what I saw a guy do on TV. And all I got to do is sweat a lot at the gym and, starve myself, and that it's just going to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. Show that discipline, cut your diet down, show up to the gym hard. But then you miss a day. What happens? Oh, well. I really want to go tomorrow.
I'll start next Monday again.
Yeah.
Everything starts on Monday.
I'll go the rest of this weekend. I'm going to be with family. And then it's, Monday. Man, I'm just not feeling it.
I'm tired.
We'll go to tonight. Oh, I got to work late. Go tomorrow. And the other issue is, at that point, you check the scale and you've lost 7 pounds in 3 weeks, which is fantastic for healthy weight loss. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. But the way the media has set things up in this world, 7 pounds is what you expected to lose in the first week and maintain that loss for 2 months straight. That is not realistic, and that is not attainable, and that is definitely measurable, but just way too far to the extreme. So I think when you're coming into the new year, when you're coming in to develop these resolution goals, having someone to sit down and review these goals with you and look at it from the outside perspective, especially somebody educated in the field of what you're trying to do, to kind of help you to temper your expectations to something that is attainable, that is achievable on a regular basis, even if you are not perfect. I think that is we have now kind of gotten all the way down into the nitty-gritty of what it is. People develop goals based on a perfect situation. No situation is perfect. No situation is ever going to be exactly right all the time. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have bad training days. You're going to have bad eating days. You're going to have bad sleeping days. You're going to have stressful days. You're going to have amazing days. You're going to have amazing training days. You're going to have amazing sleep days. That all kind of balances out over time, which is why tempered, realistic, measurable, SMART goals will allow you to keep up, because you're always going to have those little attainable rewards, right? You have to reward yourself. Obviously, for somebody like me that is addicted to food, I'm not going to reward myself with a pizza, but I'm going to reward myself with maybe doing something in my workout that I enjoy. So if I enjoy the Airdyne, I might do more Airdyne. I might do more of something that I enjoy. Just it's something along those lines. Maybe instead of going to the gym, I'm going to go early in the morning. Then that night, I'm going to go to a movie. I'm going to go do something that I enjoy. I'm going to give myself a night off from the gym, and that's a reward worth getting into, right? Mm-hmm. I still got my cardio or my 10 minutes of fitness in for the day, but now I'm rewarding myself with something that I enjoy because, I'm hitting my goals. And I realize that the war is not going to be won in a day. The war is not going to be won in a month. Consistent, resolutionary weight loss. If you are truly resolute to lose weight, you probably have a substantial amount of weight to lose. If you are resolute to lose weight and really, and this is where kind of fine tuning those goals comes in. If you're a 5'2", 120 pound female and you want to lose 30 pounds, this is where we have a problem too, right? So then again, attainable, measurable, SMART. That is not SMART. Your goal would probably be something more along the body fat percentage, losing body fat, gaining muscle. things along those lines. We're having a fitness professional to sit down with you and go over your goals, and kind of, I hate to say it, but kind of chin check you, get you in the right direction, and reverse those goals to something more attainable is definitely where you want to go. I think it's really, really important that people realize this prior to writing the resolutions. I think people come out hot and it's a spur of the moment, 6 beers in on New Year's Eve resolution, and we're going to hammer it, and you still remember it the next day. But where are you going to, if you're not opening a book every day and reminding yourself of your goals, and it's something attainable with weekly check-ins, monthly check-ins, every 6 months having some sort of midline goal, yeah, you're going to fall off, because eventually that love for whatever you're doing goes away.
Yeah, it can be kind of like getting ready for a marathon. You don't just up and say, I'm going to do a marathon next month. It's a small plan. First, you start off maybe running a couple small sets of 200-meter goes. Then you start to build up your aerobic capacity, and you start to make it maybe 350 meters or 400 meters. And slowly, over the course of 4 or 5 months, you get better and better and better at running. Not that running ever gets easier. You just get faster and better at it.
Mm-hmm. Like we did with CFT 60. They've been doing this for 8 weeks now. They complain, man, I'm running more. Yeah. Shouldn't you be proud of that? Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Well, for those of you that are in the beginner tier of what we do, you guys are running for 12 minutes without stopping. Right? Most of them, when they started this program, when they started this 8-week program, they were running 3 or 4 minutes without stopping, and then they would get a minute walk. Now they're up to 12, 15 minutes with a 1 minute rest, a walking rest in between. That is a substantial improvement in conditioning and longevity in their jog pace, right?
The same can be applied to the New Year's resolution and diet. Same principle.
Yep. They're looking back now and going, man, I didn't really do that well. And I'm going, no, look at the difference. Right? Oh, yeah. But that's where having those written down goals and being able to check it off and going, wow, I'm 6 months in and I'm 8 months and I've lost the weight I should have lost in 8 months based on my goals. Okay, I am doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to lose that overall vision of what's going on. It's really easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of, I didn't see the progress I wanted today. Well, what's your progress overall? Let's look back at the entire picture. There might be a lot of surprising success there that maybe you forgot. If you've done personal training for a very long time, I'm sure this is a pretty common issue. Whether it be nutrition, with your clients, all over the place.
I think one of the, for the new person coming into the gym with all these resolutions and goals, and it could even be the person who's been at the gym for 10, 15, 20 years, I think it's prioritizing those goals for a lot of people and sitting down with a fitness professional. I mean, now is the time of the year where whether it's CFT or another CrossFit gym or your commercial gym, they've got trainers there that are willing to sit down with you and listen to you. You might have all these goals, but it's hard for people to really distinguish what they want and what they need out of the gym. A lot of the times we're going into the gym and we just go through the motions. I can join the commercial gym and I got free classes. I'll just do that and walk on the treadmill, maybe eat a little better than what I have been, but there's still no clear direction. And, as a trainer and a coach, like I want nothing more to sit down with you, listen to you, get things on paper and just draw you a roadmap, so you get the best bang for your buck.
And so you can understand the journey that's ahead of you.
Oh, yeah. Knowing that it's going to be a process. And, I love to tell people, trust the process. The rewards are going to be never ending. And for someone that's starting out, or like I said, the person that's been doing it for a while, we can all get great results. As us, we set goals all the time. And the goal is just working together, having that clear direction.
Yep. And we'll talk more about this in a few. We'll see you when we get back.
Peace.
And welcome back to segment number 2 of the CFT Fitcast. Today we're talking resolutions, and we brought in a special guest during the break who's going to talk about her resolutions.
Hello. I just woke up. Literally just woke up. I work graveyard, so I had to roll in looking super
It's 2 in the
hot.
afternoon.
It's 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, I just woke up.
Apparently, this room was too bright for her, so she wore her glasses.
Actually, I have no makeup on, and I'm highly embarrassed because the bags under my eyes are super, super dark. So I figured I'd just kind of
Pretty
cover
sure
them
she's
up.
just hungover.
That too. And then I fell when I came in here, so that was embarrassing.
Awesome.
Yeah, the chair fell on
Expected.
top of me.
Which adds to the fact she's probably still actually drunk.
Hey, if you're not a little buzzed throughout life, then it's not fun.
It's not life.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in here talking about my New Year's resolution. I just signed up for RP Strength. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about them
Shout out.
because we're not sponsored.
Shout out.
They just had a sale on the templates, which the templates are regularly $109, and I never pay full price for anything. So when I saw them on sale for $89, I thought, all right, I'll just buy them and kind of sit on them and see what I'm going to do with them. I know it requires a little bit of reading before you get started just so you can understand what you have to do. But I decided to go with this because recently I was just kind of eating somewhat clean, and then I found popcorn. And I would eat a whole bag of popcorn every night at work, and it was starting to hurt my stomach, actually. But that's a little too much info. I started to gain weight because I was also doing a lot of the TZ programming where it was a lot more of lifting, and I started to gain a whole bunch of weight, and my Lulu stopped fitting. And
Oh, no.
anybody knows, I have
Not the
a whole
Lulus.
bunch of Lululemon, and I cannot afford to buy more Lululemon.
And she doesn't
so
pay full price, guys.
no, and I still don't pay full price. But I needed to cut back and kind of lose some weight somewhere without losing my gains. But at this point, I needed to kind of find out what makes me happy. I was pushing myself super hard. I have a full-time job. I work graveyard. I work here at the gym, put in a lot of time here. And then I have 2 kids. I'm a pretty much full-time mom besides being at work. And I was running on empty. I was super tired, not angry, but just not really happy like I normally am. So I wanted to find a balance in my life. So I decided to quit working out by myself and get back into the class program or the class workouts.
Yeah, me too.
Except for on my days that I'm working, I like to come in, well, by myself, I guess. But everyone else is here. And do the class program so that I have that competitive side of me being fulfilled, and I'm able to still talk to everybody about what's going on in the gym. And then that way I can balance working out. I'm going to be in here 5 days a week and finding a diet that suits my lifestyle. So I don't know. I've never done RP. It should be interesting. Chris, I know, is going to help me.
Yep.
Chris Minton said he'd help me. One of the struggles that I was kind of nervous about was on Sunday before I go to work, I'm usually up about 24, 25 hours. So I don't know how to eat, if I'm supposed to spread out my food for the day or if I'm going to, I don't know, figure out at midnight if that's my new day. So I'm going to figure that out right there. And that was kind of one of the things I was slightly apprehensive about.
I would start a new day. If you're going to be up 24, 25 hours, that's a day. When you sleep is when your day ends and the new one starts when you wake up.
Yeah.
So for you, the cool thing with RP is, yes, it gives you kind of a stringent like timeline of work of eating. But if that's an off day for you, the timing doesn't necessarily matter as much as the intake timing. So loading your fats towards the end of the night versus the morning, stuff like that is a little bit more
Yeah,
important.
and I think that'll help because fat definitely gives me energy. So throughout the night when I'm snoozing off at 3 a.m, at least I'll have something to keep me going and keep me awake.
Well, that, and you also kind of want to, if you're on a cut, you want to restrict your body from taking in too many carbs towards as you get closer to bedtime.
Yeah.
So that's why they load your carbs in the morning. So your first 3 meals, depending on the cut you're on, will have carbs in it. And then after that, it goes to a higher fat, pretty much no carbs for the last few meals of the evening. So you can kind of spread those out. Like you could spread it out instead of doing 6 meals every eating every 2 to 3 hours, you could break it up into like 10 meals that you eat over 24 hours. You could probably even afford to add a meal or two in just because of how long you're awake.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the only time you're going to break it up into a new day is after you've gone to sleep and woken up, obviously for more than like an hour.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah.
yeah, 4 or 5 hours sleep, that would generally constitute a fresh start of a day.
Yeah. So that's my resolution. I'm trying to just make myself happy overall and not spread myself too thin this year. And I think that's super important. I know at the beginning of the year, everyone's like, I'm going to go strict paleo. I'm going to work out 7 days a week. I'm going to kill life.
Yeah, we
and
were just
then
talking about
by
that.
February, you see them eating the bonbons already. And you're like, what happened?
Yeah, walking in with a 6-pack of chocolate donuts,
Yeah.
you know,
just-
a whole milk chocolate milk, and I'm not even here to work out. I'm just here to ride the bike for 7 minutes. Then I gotta go.
Yeah, I have no time.
Got a meeting.
And that's the thing. You have to balance your time with your nutrition and your family's happiness. You can't, especially parents and people who have careers, they either go super hard on one thing and neglect all the other areas of their life. I'm a pretty big believer in the big picture and being the best person that you can be and not being just the best at one thing. I like to be well-rounded. And that to me is happiness is a big thing. And if you're not happy and you're not healthy and you don't feel good about yourself, then you can't do that for other people, especially your children or your spouse or your other family members that may need you. So my New Year's resolution is to just kind of step back from going ridiculously hard. And I think a lot of people could also do that too with their new diets or whatever they take on. Don't say you're going to come to the gym 5 days a week when realistically you've only been coming one day a month for the past 6 months. Ease into it. Maybe by June have a goal of 5 days a week, but January start off with just coming 3 days a week, just so that you don't go full blown, burn yourself out, and then you're totally upset by March that you failed miserably. It's not failing if you're moving and doing and trying to still complete your goal.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about in segment 1. So this is coming from someone who wasn't even here for segment 1, telling you exactly what we just said. It's, you can say great minds think alike, but it really is like from a fitness expert standpoint, from us who do this for a living or do this as a passion side job. You know, this is something we've seen year in and year out around resolution time, or when anybody starts the gym here for the first time or starts any gym whatsoever, coming in hot, you got these generally unrealistic expectations or realistic expectations with an unrealistic time frame. So that's where you really need to sit down with somebody. We offer goal setting. We're going to have more goal setting opportunities to book appointments all through December. So by the time this comes out, if you haven't done one yet, you need to get one signed up. We'll do them all through January and February and March as well. So we'll have those opportunities for you to come in and do goal setting. Obviously, it's not something you pay for. It's something we want to help you to reach your goals and kind of figure out what you need to do to get there, what's realistic, what's not realistic, what's smart, what's not smart, what a proper timeline is. So those are all really important things we want to make sure you get squared away so that you're constantly nipping at the heels of that goal until you reach its full potential. So something definitely to think about. Jen,
Yes.
thanks for not falling while we interviewed you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm going to actually go work out. So if you set the camera higher, I'm sure you'll get some good shots of me on my butt or my face.
Please take your sunglasses off before you start working out. Okay. That's
Okay.
Before you exit the
All right,
room.
boss.
Be
Whatever you
careful.
say.
Be
All right.
careful.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
See ya. All right, we're back, guys.
It's okay. It adds for more.
She's always got to be the center of attention when she's in the room. Yeah.
Yep. And I think, feeding off of everything that Jen was saying, I think a lot of people, they have the New Year's resolution in mind, but I don't have time to go to the gym. I work all these hours. For someone like Coach Jen that you just heard works graveyard, she's still at work, when people are snoozing or just waking up and getting ready for the morning, and she's got kids that are, you know, they're not babies, you know, they're grown little boys that are turning into, you know, bigger boys, and everything their mom does, she's setting good examples for her kids too, you know, making time for herself to follow these new nutritional templates and pulling back her intensity and making more time to be at the gym and mingle with the members and get into that class setting. You know, sometimes just that little change in your own routine is really all you need, and there's plenty of time in your day. There's plenty of time during your week. You know, there's the weekend. You know, we're a gym we're open every day. We've got stuff going on every single day here. We're here on the weekend, so there's no excuse for you to really put that resolution off. And then, you know, then it's, oh, I'll just do it next year. And then I'll just keep putting it back. And then before you know it, you're spending more time at the hospital and fighting disease and illness, and stuff's just not going to be agreeing with you the longer you put it off. And we're here to not let you put it off. You know, we put ourselves second so we can help more people, you know, see that better version of themselves. You know, we're not just your coaches, we're motivators. We'll hold you accountable. You know, follow our pages on YouTube. You know, if you can't make it to the gym, we have programming and software here to where you don't ever have to be trained by us. There's no excuse anymore to not get you in here.
You know, and on the flip side of that, we are open 7 days a week, so there's really no reason to try to cram your workouts in to back days because the weekend. Believe me, it's much easier to get up and go work out on a Sunday and not force yourself to come in on a Thursday or a Wednesday or Thursday if your body's beat up than trying to cram it in because, you know, goals. That's a terrible idea. It puts your body into a fatigue state that is very difficult to recover from, and generally either causes injury or so much soreness you literally cannot do anything, and it discourages you to the point of quitting. So
you can actually develop a negative outlook on fitness and your goals, and you'll start changing your mind about what it is you want.
It's too hard. When realistically, it's not too hard if you gave your body proper rest. It's too hard for you to come in on a Saturday or Sunday. That might be too hard because you want to sleep in or whatever it is. That's just where prioritizing your goal ahead of other things comes into play. I'm guilty of it. A lot of us are guilty of it at times. You know, we don't come in and work out on a Saturday morning because we went out too hard on a Friday night, or we just want to sleep in, or for me, it's coaching, and then I have other things I want to do afterwards instead of working out or coming in early and working out or staying after and working out. I go right in the office and I work until 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. You know, that's a priority. That's a priority issue. I'm not prioritizing fitness the way I should. So, you know, we're all kind of in the same boat. Breaking that stuff down, again, having someone with knowledge to break down your goals for you and help you to prioritize, schedule, make key targets to hit. You know, Matt, I know you really work with your personal training clients on targets, you know, in terms of short-term targets, long-term targets, and then the overall picture. So what do you do with some of your personal training clients to kind of help them to schedule their training? So you've worked with a lot of people that are like really building up from square one in terms of injuries or just lifelong debilities that they just haven't fixed. So what do you do for someone like that that's got that long-term goal but needs to break it down into short-term key targets to hit?
Well, I use the Fitbot app, which is really cool as far as tracking what clients are doing what. Not only do I work with personal training, my clients one-on-one, face-to-face, but Fitbot allows me to keep track of them on a day-to-day basis. So I don't make my clients do hour-long workouts every single day when we're not together. It's usually just 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes of work. It's easy work, stuff that you can do anywhere, literally anywhere, from your desk at work or from at home while you're in between making dinner and getting the kids ready for bath, or something that you can do after your workout in the gym. Like we said earlier, it's all about small goals. and getting those small daily tangible goals. You knock the workout out, you put your results in, you give me a little bit of feedback, and I communicate back. It's that constant communication that keeps people on task and keeping their priorities in line. Is whenever you let them go for a week or 2 weeks and you only see them 2 or 3 times a month is when they start to fall off or get off track. So the Fitbod app that I use really allows me to give them day-to-day tasks and goals, very small, tangible goals like we've been talking about, and they feel like those small things are actually helping them more than the actual big 1 hour sessions that we do together. The 1 hour sessions we do together is more of me looking at them and assessing them. So every week I'm assessing their progress. I make something just a little bit harder, and they notice that they're getting stronger, they're getting better, and they're starting to feel more pain-free. A lot of the clients I work with deal with shoulder impingement, bursitis, which is inflammation of the hip, a lot of foot pain, knee pain, and those people doing the small goals, that pain starts to dissipate and go away. And those are things that they notice. It's just like losing weight, and you might not see it on the scale, but your clothes are getting looser. Mm-hmm. It's the small things that they see, and that's what keeps them coming back and keeps them on track. And I think that's the number one thing, is giving them small, tangible goals so that they're seeing results not only on a monthly basis but a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. So that's exactly kind of how you set up any goal, right? So you have your short term, your midterm, and your long term goal. Mm-hmm. All working towards that one long-term attainable end result, right? What do you do when you hit that end result? You make a new one. Mm-hmm. You don't just stop and go, oh, all right, cool, and just sit down and...
It can always be better.
Yeah, always be better. You could find other things, other ancillary things like these guys are doing with their powerlifting and weightlifting. Those are ancillary goals to CrossFit and just fitness in general that will keep them motivated. And it's not necessarily a weight loss goal or a fitness goal. At this point, it's I just want to be really strong, or I just want to be a really proficient Olympic weightlifter. And those are awesome goals because it's keeping them in the gym, it's keeping them being fit, it's keeping them eye on the prize, but it's something new and fresh. So being creative is also really important. If you've run a marathon before and you just don't want to do that again, maybe a Spartan race is the way to look at it. If you've done a Spartan race and you're not a big fan of running, then maybe a triathlon of some sort, a short triathlon where it's a shorter run and you get to swim and ride a bike too. That's a cool way to break it up. It's a way for you to stay fit, but you're kind of breaking it up into a new realm that's fresh and different than what you've been normally doing.
I know a lot of people say that humans are creatures of habit. I hate habit. I hate day-to-day doing the same thing. That's why I could never do a 9-to-5 desk job of doing the same task every single day. I used to work for, when I was younger, I worked for a Gordon food service, and every day I'd run up and down the line, the belt line, slapping a label on it, throwing it on the belt, slapping a label on it, throwing it on the belt. And Gordon food service, they deliver food to like schools, like large bulk orders of food for people. And I was on the same floor, I did the same stuff, and I saw the same products every single day, and I hated it. So doing things like working on powerlifting or doing an Olympic lifting meet is something to kind of get my thoughts somewhere else and my goals somewhere else and get my attention kind of in a different direction. Keep me motivated, keep coming to the gym, because that's my goal. Always get better, stay in the gym.
Right. And so kind of just to review, the goals need to be SMART, so you need to meet all the requirements of a SMART goal. You need to have short, midterm, and long-term goals to kind of keep you on track, keep you motivated, keep you on point. And, talk to your professionals. Talk to people you have in your circle that you trust that might be able to guide you in the right way. Don't go ask mom, because mom's just going to be happy you're doing something that makes you happy. Ask somebody who's going to actually break those goals down and make sure that they're going to be actually attainable and everything else, and they're going to be good for you. So keep an eye on the prize. Keep working towards those resolutions. Talk to your professionals. Talk to us. Set up that goal-setting meeting. We want to see you hit those 2018 goals.